Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanya with Mind, Body, and Soul Company, and I make aromatherapy bath and beauty products. If you're new, welcome. I hope you'll stick around and subscribe and become part of my YouTube family. So for today's video, I am making an all-natural cold process soap. It's from the book Pure Soap Making from Anne Marie from Brambleberry. And it is a white tea soap. Now, I have made a couple of modifications to it. I did add some kaolin clay into my oils, which that wasn't something that had been called for. And then for the fragrance, I am using a mixture of peppermint and eucalyptus. The recipe just called for eucalyptus. And then one other change is going to be in the colorants, and I'll go over that once we get to that portion of the soap making. So what is a little different about this soap is you do first make your white tea in distilled water and then freeze it into ice cubes just to help with scorching. So I've already done that, and then added in my lye, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour this down my stick blender. Now you'll notice it's tea colored, obviously, since I made tea to make this. And then there is also sodium lactate in there. One of the great things about white tea is it has a lot of catechins in it, which it's a powerful antioxidant, and it's used in a lot of anti-aging creams, so it'll be really nice in a bar of soap. So I'm going to tap out my air bubbles and give this a quick blend. There is a lot of olive oil in this soap, so I think it's going to be able to stand a little more blending than my normal recipe. Okay, I think that's good. And then in the notes of the recipe, it did mention that the color may appear a little bit off, but that it should turn back to a normal color, and that you also may get a little bit of a odor initially. That should go away. There we go. I'm gonna set that over here, and then let's switch to a bigger spatula. Just run this around the edges. There we go. That is looking pretty good there, I think. Yeah, it definitely has, like, once I blended it, you got a little bit of like an orange note in it. But we'll carry on. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and dump in my fragrance oil. And as I said, this is a combination of peppermint and eucalyptus essential oils. Dump that in. Give it a whisk. I do love how eucalyptus and peppermint smell together. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this split off. Alright, so I have my batter split into two containers. For what I'm going to try to do, I wanted these longer spouts. So into this one, to lighten it up, I'm going to add in some titanium dioxide. And then to my second container is the other change that I had made to the recipe. The recipe called for green oxide, but I decided to use nettle leaves instead. And I just have that in some canola oil, and I'm gonna get that in this one. All right, and then I'm gonna give it a stir first with, oh, I just made a mess. First with my spatula, and then I'll blend it with the stick blender. Actually, I think to avoid continuing to make a mess, I'm gonna go ahead and blend it and then get things cleaned up a little. All right, so I have everything mixed together. Many messes happened, so I got that all cleaned up as well. I did end up adding some alpine green into this container because the nettle wasn't coloring it like at all. So I do have that added in, and this one that I've lightened up a little bit with the titanium dioxide. So we're gonna go ahead and start pouring. And the way I'm gonna try to do this is just kind of randomly pour in some of the green. And then we'll hit it with some of the tan. Scrape out the green. Put that out of the way. This one scraped out as well. And I'm gonna tap that down really well. So I have that tapped down. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my skewer and I'm just gonna, through the whole soap, circle it. I think that'll be really pretty. You can see it's pretty fluid still. All right, I think that should be good there. Then I'm gonna let it set up a little bit and decide if I wanna add any sort of botanicals to the top. And then I'll bring you in for a close-up. I decided not to add anything additional to the top. All right, so I'm gonna let this set up for 24 to 48 hours, and then we will be back to cut. All right, and we are back for the cut of my white tea soap. So very happy with how this one turned out. The scent is amazing. It's really light and crisp with the eucalyptus and the peppermint that I used in it. There is what the inside looks like. I think the colors came out really nice. The nettle leaves give it a little bit of textures with their specks there, and really happy with how the white came out. I'm gonna admit, I was very scared, even though Anne Marie in her book had said that it would turn a little bit of an odd color. When I started seeing it going to orange when I was mixing it up, was very concerned, but it did turn back. And like how that swirl came out on the inside. Now, in the book, this was done as a faux funnel pour, but I don't have a slab mold and I wasn't sure how that would actually come out in a loaf mold. So that's why I went ahead and just did the skewer swirl instead of doing the faux funnel pour. I would like to try that at some point, but I want to get a loaf mold before I do. Smash that a little bit before I do actually try it. I just think it would come out a lot better and a lot cleaner. And this soap is going to be available for my July 26th release. It's one of 3 natural soaps I'm planning. So I'm very excited to kind of add in those soaps to my lineup. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.